So many challenges. And look, this OPEC production cut that we've seen in the last 24 hours also comes as the energy crisis deepens in Europe. As Silvia was explaining, we're getting this price cap on oil, the EU embargo on seaborne crude also looming large. My concern is twofold, though. And number one, Russia isn't about to back down because time is ultimately on Putin's side. And number two, there doesn't really seem to be an off-ramp here, which means Europe is on a path now to higher prices, blackouts, rationing and recession unless something drastically changes now. Hadley?
Dan, this was the conversation that I had, frankly, with the former U.S. Secretary of Energy yesterday, Dan Brouillette. And I asked him, what is it that Europe and the West can do to, frankly, win this economic war against Vladimir Putin? And he said, Hadley, the only thing that we can do is produce more energy. He said, now the United States has a lot more leeway here. We can produce more. He's like, we can always go back to these OPEC plus ministers and talk to them. But at the end of the day, if the United States doesn't get their act together, there's going to continue to be a real big problem. That was the message.
And given all of that, I also want to take a look at the idea that perhaps what President Putin wants to do is causing some social unrest across Europe. I'm seeing quite a lot of comment emerging from different political experts suggesting that indeed that's what President Vladimir Putin wants to do. And, when you're talking about this energy crisis, we're talking about higher inflation across the bloc. We are indeed talking about a potential recession already next quarter. We're seeing strikes already taking place in several European countries in different sectors then. So is perhaps that the idea that President Vladimir Putin has? And how will European leaders respond to prevent that?
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Absolutely.
What is Europe's tolerance level as it stands, right?
I don't think there's any doubt at this point that they're trying to bankrupt Europe. Do you?
No, absolutely.